Hello and welcome to Verbal to Visual. Today I'd like to share with you a method for drawing people that I've really been enjoying lately and that I've been weaving into my visual note-taking process. The type of person that we're going to draw today, they're called star people, and they look like this. We start by drawing the head, typically a circle. You could go with an oval. And then starting around the neck area, we draw a star that looks something like that. So this, of course, is where the name Star People comes from. It's loosely based on the shape of a star. Maybe this guy here is smiling. And one of the reasons that I like this style of drawing people is because of that flow where, other than drawing the circle for the head, everything else you do in one stroke. You don't have to pick up the marker at all, and you kind of just work your way across, rather around the body. And I'll share with you a handful of other poses here that you might find to be useful when you're sketching out ideas. Let's next do something that's maybe a little bit more active. Again, let's go circle for the head. I'm going to draw a person running here. And the tricky thing, no matter what style you use for drawing people, even if it's simple stick figures, is figuring out the right way to bend the arms and the legs so that you're representing the particular activity that you're actually intending to represent. So for a runner, moving left to right, I'm going to go something like this. And what's nice here is that the limbs can be exaggerated here. Obviously, these, in addition to being called star people, they also kind of have a little bit of like a ghost mentality or style to them, which I don't actually mind. The, limbs being exaggerated. It's a little bit more pillowy than it is what an actual body might look like, or at least compared to stick figures. Because another thing, in addition to the flow of drawing people in this way, I also like how these, I think, are more representative than stick people. I think more people will see themselves represented in a person drawn in this style than something like a stick figure. So I like that approach. Or that aspect of drawing people in this way. So here we got someone running, a little bit of exasperation, maybe breathing hard a little bit. Let's draw another person. This time, someone maybe pondering something, someone thinking. So we've got our head here. I'll share a little bit, some variations that you might make. So, rather than maybe having a distinct limb with a pointy end for each, all the arms and elbows, you can also kind of have one arm resting at the side like that, and then the other maybe coming up here, maybe looking up, maybe doing some thinking. And actually, that would have been better if I had done it slightly different. So let's try that again. I think you need to have a place for where the armpit is, I suppose. This is where practice clearly comes in. And just knowing kind of where to put little gaps like that if you steer away from this style where you're just kind of working your way around. So kind of in a similar vein, doing something like drawing someone with their arms crossed can be tricky with a stick figure or any style of drawing. But with this one, let's try it. One arm like this. Over like that. And then for the other arm, thinking about the elbow coming in like that maybe. And body coming around like this. Gives the impression of either someone cradling a baby perhaps, or having their arms crossed. maybe this person is a little skeptical about what's going on. That's how you might draw that. What else do we want to draw today? Let's bring in multiple people. So let's say you want to draw maybe a parent and a couple of kids, which does happen to be my situation. A couple of youngins here holding hands. There's something I find easier when drawing kind of adults and children with this kind of star people approach compared to stick figure. It's a little bit easier to get at that sense of, okay, what's the scale of a young kid compared to an adult. I just like how this looks a little bit better compared to the maybe stick figure version of it. I also enjoy, there's kind of a technique that you might have seen if you follow visual facilitators or graphic recorders of drawing lots of people at once, drawing all the heads like this, and then, one arm, and then basically just a bunch of legs, and then the other arm to signify a group of people here. That's kind of a fun way to get at that. What else do I want to show you here today? You can kind of play around with what the different limbs might be doing. So maybe, I guess I'm kind of sticking with a left to right theme here, but if you want to show someone, maybe if you want to direct attention in a particular way, maybe this guy, let's make him kind of stern, being, hey, look over here at that thing. This is what you need to pay attention to. That's what that might represent here. Yeah, that's a way for drawing people. I encourage you to kind of just continue experimenting. What I've enjoyed about this style and something that I've incorporated into kind of my daily workflow is giving myself the space to just play and experiment and make mistakes, especially when trying to draw anything that's not a super straightforward position that a human body might be in. I haven't even drawn really the most basic of them yet, so my basic way of just drawing a person would be like this. Start with the head, arms down, feet down, arms down. If you just need to draw a general person, do that really quickly. And then from there, you can start experimenting with, okay, what if maybe this person is talking to someone next to them? I've got a hand out, they're gesturing. Those are the types of experiments that you can do. One that I turn to as a challenge often is someone maybe sitting cross-legged in meditation, like that type of sitting pose, where maybe you've got the hand down on the knee and then the knees here. Let's see if I even remember how I sometimes do this. Here's this, here's the other knee, and the leg kind of comes like that. Not too bad for a person kind of sitting perhaps in meditation. So I've talked about, I think I've listed all the reasons why I like this style flow of just kind of the way that you can work your way around the body as you go. I like the representation of people in this way. I think more people can see themselves in these types of sketches. I also like generally the embodiment that comes from actually including the body in something other than sticks. So one of the kind of things that I've been thinking about lately and that I've been incorporating into my life, or at least attempting to, is doing more merging of kind of what's going on up here in my head and what's going on in my body, and having kind of like a stronger connection between the two, paying attention to what's going on inside of my body and let that support whatever's going on in my brain. and recognizing that they're not actually distinct, that we're all kind of one system here, but that we can direct our attention in one direction or another. And kind of drawing humans as more full bodies and not just this head on these sticks for limbs. I feel like that, for me, reminds me of the fact that we are all embodied, and just kind of sets the right tone for a lot of the things that I tend to take notes on. I think this style fits well. So if you like it as well, continue experimenting, try some challenging verbs maybe, give yourself the space to experiment, and I hope you kind of enjoy it. And if you want to see an example of how I've used this in a video, go check out The Shape of Creativity. I kind of walk through the different stages of life as a creative person, and at each stage I included a stick figure, I think all of which have a different pose that they're doing. So you can see that'll give you an example of what this looks like in practice. And then the challenge I would pose to you is when you're taking notes, like anytime you're trying to make your notes more visual, think about how you can include people within it. What's a person doing if they are exemplifying that idea? What sort of situation are they in? How active are they? What's their body doing? What's their facial expression? Sometimes just thinking about that, like if I had to draw a person in connection with this idea, that's a great place to start in terms of thinking about how to visualize a given idea. Starting with what the body looks like, but then also maybe what objects they're interacting with, or what other people they're interacting with, or what sort of setting they're in. Those are some good ways to add a little bit of visual oomph to whatever it is you're working on. So I wish you luck experimenting. If you would like to dig deeper into the general idea of taking visual notes, go check out our course, An Introduction to Visual Note-Taking. That course will give you a solid foundation in kind of all of the components that build up to allow you to weave sketches and words together in a way that help you to capture and share ideas in a more memorable way. You can learn more about that at verbaltovisual.com. My name is Doug Neill. Thank you for watching this video. If there are other specific topics related to sketchnoting that you would like to see me address in these videos here, drop them in a comment below, and I'll try to find a way to plug it into what I'm sharing here. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again soon.